Hello, my dear beloved children. To conclude the topic of your interaction with the elements of nature, I would like to tell you about how they will move into the new energy space. As has been said many times, the period of transition implies an exacerbation of all the diseases of the earth. Both your planet and all its inhabitants, which are the natural elements, will have to undergo a complete cleansing of old programs. Energetic renewal cannot happen overnight, because the gap between the old energies of the 3D world and the energies of the fifth dimension is too great. Still, the purification is proceeding at a fairly rapid pace. It's like healing from a serious illness going through a crisis, an exacerbation of all its symptoms, followed by a full recovery. That is what is happening now to your planet and to you, dear ones. You are going through your last lessons and trials on the old Earth in an intensified and accelerated mode, which directly affects the natural elements that react to the energies you radiate. But as soon as the process of purification is completed, the natural elements, as well as people who are ready for the transition, will enter a stable state of harmony and peace, because everything will be ruled by the fifth element, love. Natural disasters will not be able to manifest themselves simply because it will be impossible to do so energetically. All space on Earth will be permeated with energies of the highest vibrations. And then your Earth will become what you would like it to be in your dreams, on which you can walk barefoot all year round and on which you can lie, drowning in silky grass and enjoying the scents of flowers. The air will become clean and clear. It will delight you with its gentle breath and not frighten you with winds and hurricanes. The water in rivers, lakes, seas and oceans will be calm, warm and gentle. And the sun will not burn, but only warm you with its rays, as if enveloping you in a gentle blanket. The natural elements will be tamed by your love, by your high vibrations. And you will enjoy each other, merging into one. But in order to reach such a state, always remember that you are all contributing to the rebirth of your planet, that there are no small and big people on Earth. Each of you is an all-powerful being who is able to change not only your own reality, but the reality of the entire planet with a single thought. And what that reality will be depends on what your thoughts are imbued with, what energies, constructive or destructive. You will now see examples of both every day, as the Earth's time changes as it changes. Everything comes back to you in full and in the shortest possible time. Remember this, my dear ones, every minute, every second of your life. I bless you and love you very much. The Father Absolute has spoken to you. Today I want to continue talking about your interaction with the elements of nature and talk about how they can affect you, not you. You've probably noticed that when you get into nature, you change very quickly, your tiredness, irritation, and sometimes physical ailments disappear without a trace. You've even come up with this expression, nature heals me. It is true, my dear. But first of all, it heals your soul, which is languishing in the captivity of the three-dimensional world. And only when she finds herself in nature, in pristine beauty and purity, she feels that she is returning home, that she can breathe deeply and remember her divine origin. When you merge with nature, you unwittingly interact with all of its elements. Remember those blissful moments when, lying on the shore of the sea or river, you listen to the sound of the water, a light breeze blows over your body, and the sun warms you with its rays. This is how the natural elements of earth, water, air and fire interact with you. And you experience the state of grace from interacting with them thanks to the fifth element, love, which fills your entire being. But this is not always the case. Sometimes the elements of nature behave violently and unpredictably. And then you feel small, helpless and defenseless in the face of the raging elements, which bring you destruction, and sometimes death. Most often this happens in those corners of the globe where the concentration of negative energy reaches its limit, and then the heavy dense energy of human passions changes the energy of the elements, and they pay the person in the same coin, acquiring aggressive destructive forms. You may ask me, how do hurricanes form in seas and oceans far from land, and therefore from human energies? The fact is, my dear, that there are no distances for energy, so often any place on earth can become a source of fire. This happens as a result of the self-regulation of the natural elements or, in other words, the redistribution of energies in accordance with the laws of the universe. But trust me, nothing is accidental. And the energy exchange between man and the natural elements is a vivid example of this. Now that a critical mass of negative energies emitted by humans has reached its peak, the natural elements reflect them in the form of earthquakes and hurricanes, tsunamis and droughts. It is the reaction of the natural elements of earth, air, water and fire to your irrational thoughts, emotions and actions. And only the fifth element always remains unchanged. This is the element of love. Not only is it incapable of hurting you, it can become a lifeline for you in any, even the most dangerous and difficult situation. This element is always above the situation, above people and above the other four natural elements, and if a person learns to be friends with it, to live in love and harmony with nature, himself and with all the people around him, then in your relationship with the rest of the natural elements there will be eternal harmony and you will fully enjoy each other. And I bless you for that. The Father Absolute, who loves you immensely, has spoken to you. Hello, my dear beloved children. So, let's continue our conversation about how the merging of the two worlds, the old and the new, manifests itself on the physical plane. And today we will talk about the change in time parameters, which are more and more making themselves felt. We have already said that linear time exists only in three-dimensional space. In the world of the fifth dimension, there is no time in your sense of the word. It's hard for you to imagine it yet. And, perhaps, the only analogy that can be drawn is your state of timelessness, when you are engaged in creativity, forgetting about everything in the world. Then time stops for you, or rather, you do not notice it, because you are outside the framework of the three-dimensional world, in another dimension, where completely different energies reign, creativity and love. But now many of you, even when you are engaged in ordinary routine affairs, notice that time is no longer passing, but running, and sometimes flying. Why is this happening? First of all, because the energy parameters of the Earth are changing, its vibrations are rapidly approaching the vibrations of the fifth dimension. And since time is energy, it also bears the imprint of new life. You may ask, but why doesn't it stretch but accelerate? And this happens because the Earth of the fifth dimension gradually pulls the old Earth into itself, absorbs it into its energy field, dissolving the energies of the three-dimensional world. In this way, the energy of time begins to manifest itself in a different way. In a concentrated form, it seems to be compressed. That is why it seems to you that minutes, hours, days, weeks, months are now flying by for you. But when the Earth fully transitions into the new energy space, this spring will loosen, and time will flow easily, smoothly and imperceptibly for you. You will enjoy what you love, communicate with people close to you in spirit, create reality with the power of thought, and time as such will dissolve for you. It will cease to exist, because the rhythm of life itself will become completely different, just as your thoughts and emotions will become different, because they will no longer be based on duality, but unipolarity. It can be said that time in your current understanding is also a product of duality, which is reflected even in your language. Difficult and easy times, hard and happy, it can be a lot or a little. On the new Earth, your times will be easy, happy, and endless. You won't be in a hurry, which means you won't be tied to a certain time. And then, as unnecessary, it will simply disappear from your consciousness as an atavism of the three-dimensional world. You will merge into a completely different energy space, where eternity rules the world. The Father Absolute, who loves you immensely, has spoken to you.